live for those people unable to or not able to see it on the computer right now or whatever, wherever they may be, and some people are driving or whatever it is. Okay, redirecting to the page. Just hold on. Live for those people. Okay, so we can't set it up in advance because of copyright with the music or whatever. There's some issue there. But anyway, you're there. We're here. That's all that matters. Good evening, folks. And yeah, a lot of people are joining here today. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anybody watching the World Series here? Uh, Pretty exciting. I know a lot of people voting or rooting for Toronto. My beloved Buffalo Bisons is the farm team for Toronto, so I think there's a lot of Toronto players. They used to play for the Buffalo Bisons. And we'll get it any way we can, you know what I'm saying? But I guess they lost to Los Angeles last night. They won the first game, but fortunately they're not playing tonight, so I'm not losing any of you to that, which is a good thing. So, all right, let's move along here. I see a lot of people still joining us. Welcome, everybody. Oh, good day. Good to see you. Good to see y'all here. All right, my name is Hugh. It's Sunday, October the 26th. That's my beautiful dog, Lucy. I miss her so much. We lost her a few months ago, but she will live forever in our hearts. And I miss her every day. Poor girl. All right, folks, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds here to read this disclaimer, and then we'll move on. Yeah, we have to do this to keep the lawyers working. They have to eat too, apparently. Wasn't my choice. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay. I know some lawyers that are actually pretty good. So, all right. So here we go. You alone are responsible for anyone trading and past performance does not guarantee future results. All right. Charts courtesy of Schwab Thinkorswim. And also, what did I do with my? I know I was supposed to do one more thing here. I gotta bring up my my monitor here on my cell phone. Bear with me here while I take care of this other one little task that I have to do. All right, just hang on here. Okay, register and join. I have to join too, just like everybody else. Sign in, waiting. Here we go, connecting. Mute this, turn it sideways, we'll get to go. Then I just gotta hang it up. All right, where is it? Hang on a second here. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me here. There we go. Should be all this I can see. Make sure that I'm in the camera the right way. All right, so we are good to go. All systems go now, right? I'll hate it when it takes a few minutes to get set up, but that's what it is. So, all right, please use the questions box for any questions or comments you might have. You'll find the icon on your Zoom dashboard. I'm the only one that sees that, and my associate John Johnson rolls in, then he'll probably say hi, and he too will be able to see the questions as well. But right now, he's not on. Okay, cool. All right, let me take a look and see who all we have online here. A lot of people from all over the place. This is actually really cool. I really enjoy seeing people from all over the place here. Okay, and let's get started. Okay, can hardly hear me? Okay, strong echo from my mic. How's this? Sounds better? Sounds a bit better here? Let me know. All right, folks. Let me know if this is the first time here. All right, if this is the first time at the Day Trade Spy Sunday night intro to trading weekend review, let me know. Just curious to see if any first timers here, and if you're new to options, let us know that too. Just curious to see how well versed you are already in options. I don't want to go over what options are if you already are very familiar with them. So that would be really good to know that. So you'll find that in the questions box. Let me know in the questions box. All right. Okay, so I think we're all set to go. All right, let's see, the host here tonight, my name is Hugh. Here's my intro. There's my little intro here, and I learned this stuff from deep in the trenches, folks. Okay, this is what I learned deep in the trenches when my own financial advisor blew out half my account. I figured I gotta learn how to do this myself. Started trading a long time ago, but then in 2010, they coerced me to put it up online to show people what I'm doing because they saw that I was making some money. And I come across some pretty cool strategies that worked for me. Not saying they're the only strategies out there, or that it's going to work for you, but something that actually worked very well for me. So I was very excited about that, and I started teaching people. Excuse me. And I started putting things up on the online first, on what was the inner circle webinar. And then we started doing Wednesday night sessions where we answered all your questions. We did a Sunday night intro to trading sessions, and we started doing some trading room sessions. And anyway, the whole thing grew from there, and it is to what it is now. I look for short-term breakout trades for small, multiple daily gains. Very simple. Um, it's kind of like building a house brick by brick. Instead of trying to build a wall all at once, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But if you build it brick by brick, it's probably going to have a much better sort of foundation and a lot more strength. And I think it's just an easier way of doing it. Also insulates you from major disasters, right? So if I do get hit with a big loss, I don't get wiped out. Okay. Excuse me. Well, 3 years ago, the people over at Eagle Financial Publications took notice. They made us an offer, couldn't refuse. They bought us out, then they hired us back. Not only that, but they brought on John Johnson, a retired Eagle guru. He had his newsletter, and they did very well with that. But what happened was he joined us on the in the trading room. Um, he does a lot of what I do, only he comes at it from a different angle. He um, he has his own set of indicators, and I have my own set of indicators. We have a saying that when our indicators unite, our trades ignite. And it's actually been working extremely well. We get along great. We have a good time. We get in there, we make money, get in there, have a good time. We kid around. John's actually a lawyer by trade, trader having been made. He left law to become just a full-time trader. That's all he does. Lives in Texas. I'm in the Buffalo, New York area. And John's in Texas. We're thousands of miles apart. But very, very good to have him online and very excited. And his philosophy is very simple. Take what the market will give you. Very similar to what I do. Take what the market will give you, right? We don't go for those long, massive, long, those throws, those um, those massive long trades. I mean, if you get a home run once in a while, great. But I think it's the singles and doubles that actually win the game. And that's kind of what we do. So I'm laughing here because during the week yes, I got new glasses. And the girl that sold her said, "Oh, people are going to notice your glasses." No, they won't. No, they won't, Mona. Nobody cares. Guys don't look at glasses. What are you kidding me? These things they look the same as they were the last ones I had. Oh, those are all. What does she wear? Use the word I don't know, braised or whatever she said. And she said, "Oh, these are going to look really good, really good." I said, "Okay." She said, "You don't look at them because you look through them." Such a sweet girl. I know she ripped me off. But that's okay. you know. And already I have somebody here, Mark. Mark has new glasses, Hugh. Yes, they're brand new glasses. Thank you for noticing. I cannot believe that somebody noticed. Wow, that's impressive. Um, that's actually pretty impressive. It's funny because when I go out with my friends, it must be me. I don't even, I could sit there all day with them or something, and I cannot even tell you what they wore. I couldn't even tell if they had a coat or dark clothes, light clothes. I remember how they made me feel. I remember how I felt, and we were talking about stuff. But I don't look at people like in any meaningful way that way. But thank you for noticing, Mark. That's actually really pretty cool. So welcome, Michael T. Michael T. First time here, familiar with options. Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm going through some of these questions here. So Jim L noticed right away. You guys are pretty cool. I gotta tell you, I love you all. You know that? About a month ago, I was in Europe for 2 weeks. It was the first time in 16 and a half years I was away for 2 weeks from the trading room and the whole thing. And I gotta tell you, I had withdrawal symptoms. I remember being on a tour bus. I pulled out my cell phone and I got a hotspot for my wife. She had a hotspot. And I traded, but I didn't. But I wasn't involved in the group or anything. But I felt the withdrawal symptoms from the whole thing, and I thought, it's almost like you're being with your friends, Hmm. I guess in a way, we are, but sort of one way, a lot of it. Me talking to you, I always like to hear from you guys. Sometimes it's hard because you have so many people, and sometimes these people email me, and I can't always get back to everybody. I try. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on here. Here's what we're going to talk about tonight, folks. Review last week, preview of next week, and launch the I'm going to tell you about the 5 to 50K, right, challenge. Okay. Um, then we're going to go on the cornfield, have a little chat there, talk about your challenges, got a little 2-minute tutorial. We can help you answer your questions. We got a little contest at the end. Contest is going to give away an ebook. It's going to be either Triumphs and Tragedies or what's the other one? Let's see. The other one was called, let's see, TTT. Triumphs and Tragedies. And I forgot what the other one's called. Somebody will tell me. Um, I will think of it. All right, so probably Triumphs and Tragedies we'll get to. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do tonight, right? Don't forget, of course, our Spy in the Market. This our newsletter goes out every Thursday, free. All you have to do is sign up, DayTradeSPY.com. When the pop-up comes up, tips, tricks, and traps. That's what it is. That's what the other one is. Tips, tricks, traps, tips, tricks, and traps. Triumphs and tragedies, or tips, tricks, and traps. Actually, they're over 40 pages each, so they're actually very intensive. So, folks, go to the website, DayTradeSpy.com. When the pop-up comes up, leave us your email address. Gets you on the newsletter. All right, so it's in your inbox every Thursday. If you don't want to get it on that newsletter, not a problem. Go to our website, DayTradeSpy.com, and up at the top left, you'll see Spy in the Market, the e-newsletter. You get all the previous issues right there. All right. This week's topic, Spooky Market Halloween Terms. Spooky Market Halloween Terms. This is what we're going to talk about here. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Yes, um, there's some spooky terms that we're going to talk about, and a whole series of them. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. It's more of a fun night than anything else. You're not going to learn a whole lot, but it's just going to be a very fun night. Let's take a look at the weekend review. What happened here last week, folks? Here's a chart of the, my goodness, chart of the week. Talking about some pretty crazy swings. Ran up at the beginning of the day, the beginning of the week, bounced around, came back down, and shot up new highs. Excuse me, on Monday. I guess we're about 3 weeks into the government shutdown. Continues low, no economic news. SPY ended up sharply higher in technical trading. We saw new highs. We've been seeing a lot of new highs since this government shutdown. The market seems to be reacting very positively to that, which kind of makes sense because if you're not paying your employees, you're saving money, and market seems to be very in tune with that. It's also anti-inflationary because all that money is not going back into the system. Anti-inflationary means lower interest rates, and that is what the market really, really likes, right? We had 5 wins on Monday. On Tuesday, we had 4 wins, 1 loss. Busy earnings day. Stocks ended up mixed after yesterday's massive run-up. We didn't come down, bounced around pretty good on Wednesday. The U.S.-China trade tensions flared up again. SPY dropped 9 points before recovering, closed near the 668 level. We had 4 wins, 1 loss. On Thursday, markets recovered pretty good from the day before's loss as Trump spoke. Positive earnings came in and Chinese tensions eased. All right, China tensions eased. Trump said, "Oh no, we're gonna work it out. Whatever it is that he said, we're gonna work it out." He's gonna meet with the Chinese leader. Interesting thing, they meet. They seem to make some headway, and then somebody does something, and the whole trust just breaks until the next time. And it just goes in this endless cycle. We had 4 wins, 1 loss on Thursday, and 8 wins on Friday as the government shutdown continued. But inflation reports. So what happened was, even though the government shutdown was there, the government brought back a few workers for the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they issued some CPI numbers, and they came in lower than expected, which was very, very positive for the stock market, right? Sent all indices or indexes, however you want to say that, to record highs. SPY hit a high of 678.47 in afternoon trading there before it settled in. We had 8 wins on that one. So I want to tell you a little word about these losses. They aren't necessarily real losses. By that I mean because of our commitment to Eagle that we have to be in and out of these trades all on the same day. All right. So what we do is we consider that some of these trades, if they are not closed by the end of the day, we consider that they are closed at the end of the day with whatever the market will give us. So we take an average at the end of the day. All right. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we would have sold them. In fact, most of the time we've held on to them. And the following day or the next day, markets would have come back up in our direction and we would have had a nice little profit in real. But just with the way the reporting has to be with the Eagle Financial Publications Group, we have to record them as to what they would have been at the end of the day. So that's how we determined that we had some losses, even though in real they probably wouldn't have been losses. All right. And unfortunately, I don't have that information handy. So, all right, let's take a look at the weekend review. What happened? Excuse me. Since the bull market turned 3 years old, right? We've been doing this for 3 years now. Bottomed out in October 2022. The S&P has gained a whopping 90%. Cooler inflation supports the Fed Reserve's interest rate cut. That's still on track. They are looking at possibly, a lot of people are talking about possibly two rate cuts before the end of the year. Corporate earnings are taking the lead. Q3 results are showing resilience despite trade and labor headwinds. Market has been very, very strong. Got some charts here to show you. Here's the average bull market return per year. Excuse me, the current 3-year term is looking at 29-30%. In returns, the previous one was from 20 to 22, ran up to 58% before, or 53% rather, before that came down. But we're definitely in a bullish market right now. It looks like it's going to continue for a while. So, all right, here's another chart. Fed's journey back to neutral is picking up steam. There's the headline CPI numbers. Very much in a neutral range there, 3.5%. The Fed policy rate, we're working our way down. They like to have a 2% inflation rate. That's what they're heading towards. And we're going to see what happens as these two numbers come closer together. One more chart here. This is Q3 poised to mark the 9th straight quarter of earnings growth for the S&P 500. And we're looking here at this. Bloomberg Intelligence is saying the average growth for Q3 this time is something like 7.2, I think 7.2, 7.3%, something like that, year over year, over the last year. The growth this year is actually slower than before, but it's still very much in a growth situation. So market is doing very well. Thank you very much, right? Excuse me. All right, bit of a throat here. Let me see here. I just want to see if my good friend John's going to be on. He was on the last couple of weeks, kind of keeping an eye on for him. All right, so that's pretty good. We're looking still continuing on. S&P grew 1.9% this last week. Year to date, we're at 15.5%. Nasdaq's doing a little bit better at 20.2% year to date. That's because those stocks are heavily weighted. In fact, they're all overweight as far as capitalization is concerned. So whenever something good or whenever something bad happens in the economy, they are the first to reflect that, the Nasdaq. And that's why I like the S&P. Might not see quite as strong growth as, say, the Nasdaq, but it's a little more stable when you have 500 stocks sort of smoothing out the capitalization as opposed to very, very heavy on the tech sector, which is what the Nasdaq is. Mind you, in the S&P 500, the tech sector does carry a lot of weight. Not sure what it is right now, probably about 30-35% is very much into the tech sector. So if you see an NVIDIA suddenly tanking, it's definitely going to have some effect on the rest of the stocks. But there is a smoothing effect with the S&P in that regard. Nasdaq, as I mentioned, 20.2% year to date. Dow's up 11% year to date. Sort of the bellwether with the markets and chugging along very nicely. From a seasonal standpoint, this is a seasonal chart, and you'll notice the blue line is where SPY is now. The red line is composite of the last 5 years closing price on the daily charts. And looking at the historical numbers by state, the same over the last week, and also stayed pretty well the same the following week. So not much movement on SPY in these 2 weeks. Okay, not too much movement in these 2 weeks. It's going to be an interesting week setting up. We have low no news day on Monday. I am not aware of any progress being made on the government shutdown. It's probably going to extend another few days. CB, Consumer Confidence Report, Conference Board Consumer Confidence Report, Richmond Manufacturing Index on Tuesday. On Wednesday, a little bit different here, okay? We have pending home sales, but it's the Fed funds rate that's going to garner the attention on Wednesday afternoon. And let me see if I can highlight that. How does that look on red? It's hard to read in red, isn't it? Okay, maybe this yellow. There we go. Let's do it that way. That's going to be the big news item, right? Also, and here's the funny thing, I'm not sure if they did this on purpose, but Microsoft, Google, Meta, these companies are going to be reporting their earnings on Wednesday as well. It's going to be just a crazy day on Wednesday. Not really sure what's going to move the market. The morning home sales might edge it up a little bit, but all eyes are going to be on the Fed funds rate and the earnings. Earnings season is going to be very, very crazy. We're right in the middle of earnings season right now. On Thursday, we've got GDP, and also Apple and Amazon are going to be reporting their earnings. These are the big names I'm just putting in here. There's actually a lot of companies that are reporting this week. Then on Friday, we've got personal consumption expenditures. This is the main indicator that the Feds use to determine what interest rates are. And I will never understand why they announce their Fed funds rate a couple days before the PCE comes out. Unless, of course, they already know what the PCE numbers are going to be, and they just don't want to release it until Friday. I'm not really sure. Friday, we also have Chicago PMI, personal income, personal spending. Those numbers are going to be influential to the market. So what does that do to the market? Well, we should also consider that there's going to be some potential market moving events that we have to kind of keep track of, right? Keep an eye on. Mega cap earnings season, of course, this week, but October the 30th, which is coming up Thursday, we've got tariff negotiations with Mexico. And then on Saturday, November the 1st, there's a threat of 100% tariff on Chinese goods that Trump said, oh no, we're going on November the 1st. That's what's happening there. So I'm not sure how that is going to affect the market. And then coming up in a couple of weeks, November the 10th, deadline for a new U.S.-China trade truce. So, but I'm pretty confident that a lot is going to happen between now and then, especially as Trump is going to be speaking with the Chinese leaders on tariffs. Also in the news this week, we had Trump cancel all negotiations with Canada. Apparently, the Ontario Premier, Doug Ford, thought it was wise to, to spend $75 million on an ad pulling in Ronald Reagan's comments about tariffs. Just when things were starting to go well with the trade treaty, Trump took offense to that, canceled all negotiations, so now they have to go back to square one. We'll see what happens there. Things are very much they change in a moment's notice with Trump, and of course a lot of activities. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm just saying there's a lot of activity going on between trade and things around the world that are moving very quickly. Trump, I believe, is in Asia right now, and I thought he had signed some treaty between, was it Cambodia and somebody, was it Malaysia, somebody, not really sure. I just had this up earlier. Let me see what's happening. Every time I pull up the news, I see different headlines. The headlines on Fox right now, U.S. Navy Sea Hawk helicopter.
Tonight we look at the growing U.S. military presence.
F-18F, FAS, let's see, 18F Super Hornet fighter jet go down in separate South China Sea incidents. Oh, that's not good. But anyway, a lot of news all the time, which is moving markets as well. And that's why I like to go with small gains. Small gains that are going to garner a little bit of money, little at a time, and just build from there. Here's another news item. Let's see, Besant indicated an escalation in tariffs is effectively off the table ahead of Trump's highly anticipated talks with Xi Jinping this week. U.S. reaches a substantial framework with China to avert tariffs. Okay, so good news there as far as tariffs is concerned. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Volatility could be low on Monday, but the rest of the week it's going to be quite elevated. We're looking at probably very um, high volatility for the rest of the week. Don't forget, of course, whenever President Trump speaks, volatility increases. Volatility increases. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on there. So, all right, moving along, moving along. Many opportunities. Daphne here is my lovely lady. She says many opportunities daily. She says, "Come hither, trader. We show you how to spot them and how to trade them." All right, so now what I want to do is I want to launch you. It's not an official, this is a soft launch, but starting in January, I had a lot of questions actually that came in here. When are we going to do the 5 to 50K again? And are we going to do anything between now and the end of the year? And we basically said, no, no, this is a time when we're just gonna, do our own trades. But in January, I think we're gonna relaunch the 5 to 50K. What this is we're going to take $5,000 and hopefully turn it into $50,000 by the end of the year. That is the plan. We do this in the trading room. All right, it's done live in our morning trading room. We did this earlier. This year we started January the 6th, took $5,000, turned it into $50,000 by mid-September. We did it in about less than 9 months. Did it in less than 9 months, and that's with some losses, right? But it was we had some pretty testy times during the session, but we did quite well. So we're pretty excited about doing it. But we are going to do it now. You have to be in the trading room to do this, folks. You have to be in the trading room. This is not something we're doing on the side. This is a trading room, trade, and it can be probably mostly calls. I'm guessing. I don't know. We'll see as we get closer. We'll establish the rules. Okay, but folks, if you want to get in on this, and I really urge you to join the trading room. That's all. That's all. That's really what it's all about. You got to join the trading room. That's really where it's at. Um, and those people in the trading room, they're really enjoying it. They're making money. They're having fun. I know it takes a little bit of a commitment. You have to be online for about an hour and 15, 20 minutes or whatever a day. It's not that hard. Okay, it's not that hard. You really should make an effort to do that. The trading room is hosted by yours truly and not Aaron. Uh-oh, sorry, this is an old one. Let's go back here. John Johnson. Okay, John Johnson. Okay, not sure how that one escaped. But anyway, we are experienced. Between the two of us, John and I, we've got well over 40 years, I think about 45 years combined market participation with interactive, fully narrated, learn and earn. This is where strategies come alive. They are recorded for later review. Again, 9:20 to 10:30 Eastern Time. This is going to be the home of the highly acclaimed 5 to 50K challenge, which again is coming up in January. And the cost is only $6.99 a quarter. Let's price that out. $6.99 a quarter. That works out to $233 a month. I don't know, what is it, like 22 trading days in a month? We're talking about $10.60 a day for live, real-time, expert mentorship from two professional traders. Um, I can't stress enough what a bargain this is. I can't stress enough. Every trader should be in on this. And if you're not in on this, get your friends to be, because you're going to learn a lot of great information in our trading room, folks. All right. How do you get in on this? Contact customer service at DayTradeSPY, and they will set you up with the best rates. Now, you never know. They even might have a special that I don't know about. Sometimes they do that. So join in on the trading room. $6.99 a quarter, basically $10 and change. I'm not even sure. I don't think that even buys you lunch anymore, to be honest with you. I don't even think it buys you a Subway sandwich. I don't know. I haven't been to Subway in a while, but um, maybe it'll get you a burger and fries at McDonald's. I'm not really sure. But for the information and knowledge and experience you have access to real time, seriously, this is where you got to be. All right, folks. Let's get back in the cornfield. Let's look at the questions box and chat it up. Okay. All right. So let me take a look here. Some of the comments in the questions box. For Canadians, Wealthsimple launched on Thursday, zero fees for options trading. It was $2 per contract before, so a total of $4 each contract. Huge savings. I'm going for 6% gains. I have no connection with Wealthsimple. Just use their platform. That's good to know, Larry. Thank you very much for that information, Larry R. Anybody who is using that platform, I am going to just copy this information and send it down the line here. Okay. Okay, where did it go? Where did it go? Bear with me while I just copy this, paste this comment. That's an interesting comment to know, and I'm sure there's some people that'd be interested in knowing that. I know brokers spend a lot of time changing and whatever they do with their commissions, they're always changing them. I personally like to trade. Well, I like Thinkorswim because they're outstanding charts, and I also like Tasty Trade for their outstanding lightning speed executions and their amazing commission structure. $1 a contract to open, zero to close, for a maximum of $10. But this is good because I know that Tasty is not in Canada, and I understand it's very difficult, if not impossible, for Canadians to get onto Thinkorswim. You have to have some American affiliation there. So a lot of Canadians use Wealthsimple, and that's good to know. Zero fees for options trading, and down from $2 a contract before. So good to know that. All right, Richard B. How do we do this week? Tuesday was my first day. Followed instructions. Okay, I think I just went over that. Congratulations, made 6% on my call recommendation. Wednesday, I lost 20% on my call recommendation. Wednesday and Thursday were really bad. I don't know what happened. The market just did not cooperate. It's funny because why can I not get the same? Where's the questions box? This is crazy here. Okay, well, there it is. I guess I could have one on both screens, maybe not both. There we go. How's this? A little bit better? Not sure what happened. Our indicators were in conflict. They didn't make any sense. Wednesday and Thursday were probably the worst 2 days that I can remember, if ever. I don't ever remember having two losing days in a row on the pick, but those are bad days. But I think we made up for it. Friday we should make 6%. So hopefully things are going to pick up. Yeah, I don't know what happened Wednesday and Thursday. The market just completely reversed from what we thought it was going to happen. But some days are like that. Okay, not all days are going to be winning trades. So, and okay, that's it. Thanks for that, Max. Trump made I guess, signed something, some peace treaty between Cambodia and Thailand. That's good news. He's out there fighting fires. Okay, good thing. That's a good thing, right? All right, question from Stephen B. How many contracts do you all trade at the open? And if it didn't go your way, do you add any? Everybody, I believe, I don't know what everybody trades. I have no idea what everybody trades. In fact, we don't actually talk about how many contracts we trade. I know some people trade a lot of contracts, other people trade just a few, a handful of contracts. What's important is not so much how much money you put into these trades, but how well they perform. Obviously, if you're trading one or two contracts, you're basically going for coffee money. You're not going to walk away with any great gains in absolute financial terms. But the idea there is to uh, learn to make good trades, learn to make good, consistent gains, right? And then later the profits will come. We have some people in our trading room, for example, who've been there a very long time, and they might be trading, a lot of money now. Again, I don't know how much, but judging by the reports that are coming in as to how much money they're making, I would say some people are putting in tens of thousands of dollars into single trades. And I would hope that over time, and if you stay with the trading room for a long period of time, you get very good at this, that you'll be able to ramp up your account so that you too will be able to buy, say, 20, 30, 50, 100 contracts at a time, 200, 300 contracts at a time. SPY can handle pretty much everything you throw at it. All right. I have in the past, many years ago, traded $100,000 plus in SPY contracts. That was very stressful. I don't do that anymore. And I know some people are just trading on huge amounts, but that's not what's important. I think what's important is that you just get good at it, and then the money will come. Okay. We're not some elite group that only a very small handful of people would be in on it. We're there for everybody, so everybody learns how to make money. All right. So I wish I had an answer for you, Steve, but not really sure. I think 10 contracts is sort of the default. I know, I think for some it's 10 contracts. A lot of people trade 10 contracts. So if you're trading 10 contracts, you're generally looking at around $2, $3, $4,000 a trade, something like that. Okay. All right. Question, does the market usually go higher when the Feds announce an interest rate cut? When there's an interest rate cut, the market generally goes up in price. Yes, that is true. The issue, a lot of that is that we don't really know for sure what the Feds want to do. We anticipate that there's going to be a cut. So the problem there is if they decide to hold the rates, I think you'll see the market tank pretty good. And that's always the thing there. And that's why volatility generally ramps up pretty good before an interest rate announcement. Then, of course, they always have their conference calls and their detailed outlook as to where the rates are going to be going. There's a lot of pricing swirling around that. Oftentimes, whenever Feds speak, you see some really massive spikes up and down as well. So, all right, let me see here. Another question for January. When you start with the 5K challenge, since you have such a low number, you won't be trading with a quantity of 10 contracts. Is that correct? This can only make a single trade. I'm assuming you'll be trading with smaller quantities like 3 to 5. If we're trading with $5,000, we will probably start with a lower number, ramp it up. We're going to wait and see what happens. Generally, okay, so what we did last time was this. The rule of thumb was we could trade even multiple times a day because we have more than 25,000 in our account. So we're not inhibited by the pattern day trade rule, which says that you can only trade 3 round-trip trades in a 5-day period. Okay, that's not going to apply to us. I am probably going to be interested mostly in call options because markets gravitate up. They take the stairs up, the elevator down. You often hear that. And that's true. Now, I like to buy time. Time gives you insurance. I'll probably be buying time with calls. I may go out on high risk if I see an opportunity that pretty sure the market's going to go up like right now, right today. And that is when that setup occurs and everything falls in line. Then I might even try some same day expirations. Okay, just tell you, we may change the strategy a little bit from time to time, but we are going to be very careful with our methodology. We're going to ramp it up, so that's the objective there. So, but we're going to start small, $5,000. We're only going to be trading the profits that we have. Okay. So we're not going to be trading, obviously, $20,000 the first trade. No, we're starting with 5. And if we make $500, then the next trade, we can trade 5,500. That's the way that's going to be. So, okay. All right, there's a question here. That's interesting here. Yes, there was talk last year about having a live trading seminar, actually, somewhere, probably along the East Coast somewhere. That has not died. It's funny you mentioned that. I was just talking about that a couple of weeks ago. And thanks for that, Jim. I will revive that at our next marketing meeting and see what the situation is with that. I don't quite recall. I know there's some changes at Eagle, different things going on, so not really sure what that's going to be. But thanks for your interest on that, Jim. We will keep you apprised of any news on that. So what that is, it's a live, probably a 3 day, 2, 3 day live event at a hotel somewhere where people can fly into, probably close to an airport, where we're gonna have some live trading, right? Probably do that. So, all right, Dickram, tomorrow's my first day. Thank you very much. So yeah, and that'll be good. Bear in mind, in the trading room, the longer you're in the trading room, the better trader you are going to be. Um, and, uh, and it's very exciting because you're going to learn a lot of things you're not going to learn anywhere else. That's the beauty of the trading room. And any questions you're going to have, please do not be shy. Punch them up in the questions box. Nobody else sees the questions. You never have to be embarrassed. Chances are, if you have a question, you're probably speaking on behalf of 20 or 30 or 100 other people. So, all right, question here from Alex V. Do you place most of your intraday trades the first hour from the open, or do you spread them throughout the day based on market conditions? I like to get in, make my money early on in the day. All right. Pretty much that first hour. We're in and out that first hour. I generally make my money in the first hour. I don't like to initiate new trades, especially in the afternoon, because I find that if you get into a bad trade in the afternoon, um, that 4 o'clock bell comes up real fast. Now you're stuck in a trade, right? I don't like to do that. So we generally like to get in, making our money. I know some people say, "Oh, that's amateur hour." That's so. What's your point? Amateur hour? I don't know. I make all my money on the amateur hour. If that's what you're going to talk about. If you think that's a bad thing, it's not a bad thing at all. Um, Markets tend to move a lot on that first hour. That's when you see huge moves on the market. That's when I can make a lot of money on the first hour. I just have to just get that direction right, get in, make your money, get out. A question about just started using Thinkorswim. You pay max of $10 for fees. I pay a max of $10 for fees on Tasty Trade, not on Thinkorswim. I don't know what my commission is on Thinkorswim. I do use Thinkorswim as well because I use their charts. So I feel somewhat obliged to give them money as well, right? I will say that for all my big trades, my massive trades that I trade, that I use Tasty Trade because of their incredible commissions. All right. So I'm not sure what I pay it. I don't know. I want to say, I don't know, $1.20 or $1.25. I can't remember now what it is. So anyway. All right, Reggie. Okay, wrote me a little long comment here. Okay. Okay. Okay, good stuff. All right. He said last week he messed up his Thinkorswim charts, pulled up the recording of how to set up our charts, Thinkorswim charts. Right after he explained how to take the chart back a couple of days, so I did that. I was right back in business. Okay, that goes back to an old video, Reggie. Thanks for that. I solved this problem in about 10 minutes thanks to that class recording. Are you doing more of these classes like you used to? We haven't done any of these classes in a while, but I think on the website you'll find probably some of these classes. But if you have any questions on that, Reggie, let us know. Even if it means, and if I can get back to you on an answer, even a quick video, say 2 or 3 minute video, sometimes it's just easier than to try and explain it. But if you're in our trading room, ask the question in the trading room because you'll probably get an answer right away. So. Question from, do you have a dollar goal? Okay, so every day in the morning and when I do my trades, I have a dollar goal for the day. I don't tell anybody what it is because, frankly, I don't want people to say, oh, wait a second, your dollar goal is so high. This is not for me. You're way too rich for me on this. And I'm just starting out. And conversely, I don't need anybody saying, well, why should I take instructions from you? I'm trading $100,000 and you're just looking at trading $20,000. Why would I be taking instructions from you? So I find that nobody really wins when I do that. Everybody's going to have their own goals, and that's the way it should be, right? No, this is not a one size fits all trading. Everybody's going to have their own goals. I like to tell people, get a spreadsheet out, get your trading plan. I know people that are trading with the goal of making $200 a day. Trading say $5, $6, $8,000. They just want to make $200 a day. When they made that, they're happy. They close up their trading platform and off they go. Now, usually they make more than that. Some make $300 or $400 or $500 a day, but they're happy with the 200. And the way they explain it is, listen, $200 a day, that works out to about $50,000 a year. One gentleman says, I'm still working. $50,000 a year extra. There's nothing wrong with that. And he just socks it away and keeps building it. And he figures he's going to retire in a few years, and he'll have a really nice nest egg with which to trade big time. So, all right. This is a very interesting question here. Why don't you pick a shorter expiration date since your rules state to close before the end of the day? All right. So you have this thing called theta loss. Options have a time component attached to them. Now, even though I want to be in and out in a few minutes, that doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to happen that way. Sometimes I end up staying in longer than I want. Sometimes I'd be in a trade, let's say I've got some call options, I'm going to the upside, right? And something happens, somebody says something or something happens and the market suddenly tanks. Now I have to wait it out until the market reverses. Well, that market might not reverse for, could be 10 minutes, it could be 3 hours, whatever it is, before I get out of it. I don't like to take stop losses. I generally like to do my homework and take a position that, as is one of my mottos, if you have time, you should be fine. So by buying time, you smoothen out that time loss component, and hence the stress of, oh, this trade has to work now or else. Okay, so even though my goal is to get in and out quickly, by buying time, I reduce that theta loss stress immensely. Because by buying time, by buying 3 to 5, 6, 8 days out, 9 days out, my theta loss is very small. And you'll find that if you are in a, say, same day expiration or next day expiration, that time loss can go by very quickly. Not to say I don't do those. Sometimes I do. In the last week, I think I actually had 2 or 3 days with 0 day expirations. Um, I knew the risks going in. I was very confident the market was going to go up. Didn't want to put a lot of money in it. I just got back from Florida. I thought, oh, I'm going to get some exciting trading in here. I'm just going to do some 0 day expirations. So I get into these moves. But for safety and something that we talk about with people in the trading room, because there's a lot of new people, we want to build in the safety mechanism, we'll buy some time. Now, don't panic, because if an option costs you $3, $4, $5, so what? You get it back when you sell anyway. It's not like you're losing it, right? Ooh, drinking some peppermint tea here tonight. Um, what's your recommendation on some puts being held from Thursday? Okay, if those puts, if I understand them correctly, Derek, they are going to expire this Friday. I would like to be out of the puts by Monday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday, Wednesday at the very latest. You may end up taking a loss on those. I don't know. I don't have the futures up right now as to where they sit. I could probably pull them up here. Let me see if I can pull up the futures, see where they are here. Bear with me. I just want to get an idea as to what the market's doing now. I suspect the market may be pushing to the upside as we get into some of the heavyweights, companies reporting earnings on Monday. Um, I would not want to. Okay, it's taking a long time for this thing to load up, so I'm not going to waste your time here. This is taking a long time to load up the I think there's some on this one, so we'll pass on that, folks. I don't know about those puts. I'm a little nervous about the puts. Okay, I want to get out of them, and even if it means taking a loss, better to take a small loss or some loss than to sit in those, and do not let them expire. Don't let anything, never let anything expire worthless. If you're holding into the last day, you're really on thin ice. I had a situation years ago, gentlemen. He never took my courses, never got involved in anything, but he would ask me questions and I'd answer them. But I remember he was an older gentleman. He had a lot of money sitting in some kind of calls. And I remember, I don't know if he got a stroke or heart attack or something, but he's at the hospital. His wife called me. And the question was, this is, I think, on a Thursday. He's asking, where do I see the market going and he told me whatever calls he had. Do I see them coming back to life? You know, I looked at it, I analyzed it. He said it's impossible. That's the word he used. I said it's possible, but highly unlikely. And the way I saw it, the way I analyzed it, the market would have to go up 10 points on Friday for a little bit of a break even on him on what he was holding. And there's no news or anything scheduled for that to have happened. And I don't know why he was still holding those things, but they got away from him. I mean, that happens, right? And never heard from him since. I hope he's okay. So, but sometimes, you get in that. All right, let me see some more questions here. Do you try to place a trade? First trade at 9:30 in the morning exactly, or within the first 5 minutes of the open? Alex, I try and see I've got several Alexes on here right now. I got I like to see where the market's going. If I see the market moving pretty quickly, I'll try and get in on that move. Okay. I'm not going to kid you. I'll try and get in on that move. And I will do it in a way where I will, sorry, something caught in my throat. I'll try and do it in a way where I would put in my bid for more than the ask price. Because if I want to get an option, I want to buy it. I don't want to just put in for the ask price because by the time my order gets into the market, the ask price has now moved up and I get rejected or I have to wait. I have to wait until the market comes back. Do I want to buy an option when it's going down? No, I want it when it's going up. So there's a little trick for you folks. If you want to buy it, put in your bid for 2 or 3, maybe even 4 cents more than the ask price. That puts you at the front of the line, right? And you're going to get your option. And as it continues to move up, you'll find that you're going to be in money real fast. At that point, right, get ready to hit your sell button. Get your sell order prepped. Because when something moves very quickly out of the gate to the upside, you're going to hit a certain resistance level, and suddenly it's going to come crashing back down again. You don't want to ride it back down again. One of the worst things to do is to say, look at this. I got in for an option for $3 and ran up to, 380. And then it reversed on me. Oh yeah, what'd you sell it for? Oh, 260. Right? Has that ever happened to you? Oh, that's so painful. You not only get burned financially, but emotionally as well. So you want to run it up. You want to get your price, and if you can ride it up, and then when it starts wallowing a little bit, take the money and run. Just sell. If you made 10 cents or 20 cents or $1, more power to you. But wait for the retracement, get back in with it when it's going back up. Oftentimes I will make my targeted goal in those first few minutes, and I do that way. So, all right, more questions. Okay, so if I have over 25K, even if I trade with more than 25K, I won't be penalized. Okay, maybe I can trade again. Oh yeah, if you have 25,000 or more in your trading, you can trade as much as you want. You can trade as much as you want. You're not tied to your pattern day trade rules. They want to make sure that you're not gambling away your financial future, your retirement savings. 'Cause that's what happens. People get into this business and they start trading everything like crazy, and before they know it, they're broke, right? It's very easy to lose your money in this business. Let me tell you. So yes, if you have more than 25,000 in your account, you don't even have to trade it. So, for example, let's say in the Schwab account you have I don't know, I'm just throwing a number out there, 50,000 in your money market account, and 10,000 in your Thinkorswim. You can trade that Thinkorswim all you want because you're backed by the 50,000 in your money market account. So yeah, pretty cool. If you're not sure, contact your broker just to get confirmation on this. So, all right, yeah, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. All right, no. So sometimes in my trading room, I will talk about a $10 fee. Okay, so when I did the 5 to 50K trade, okay, that was using a tasty trade type model, essentially $1 a contract, because that's what it was on tasty trade. So I was using that model for trading on that. So, right, Reggie here just said, I guess he's watching this. He says, "Holy crap, SPY futures just went up to over 682. By the way, I'll be signing up for the trading room in January, and I'm gonna have more time to put in the SPY trading." Okay, so a comment on that. Thank you very much for that, Reggie. Look forward to having you on there. Um, you might want to get into the trading room earlier before we start the 5 to 50K, just so you can learn our systems. And then when we actually start, you guys are ready to go. But whenever you can come on, great. It doesn't. I get it. Sometimes, I get very busy, a lot of things going on, but especially between now and the end of the year. We've got Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas coming up, the holidays, all that stuff. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of year ends, different things like that going on. But as soon as you get out of the trading room, please join us, learn what we do, and then you're ready to go. Another question, why should I take your courses when I can get all this information for free on YouTube? Okay, this is a question that comes up from time to time. I love this question. This is actually really pretty amazing. Question is, again, essentially, why join your trading room? Why buy your courses? Why get involved when I can get all this for free? Well, we're talking about apples and oranges, maybe even apples and garden hoses. Well, not even in the same league. Yes, you can get a lot of information online. Yes, a lot of it's free. But you're never going to get that personalized hand holding, that mentorship, that true in the trenches. John and I, okay, so John and I, between the two of us, we actually have over 45 years market participation. I'm talking about active. I'm not talking about something passive where, yeah, I got some money in there, just let it sit. No, we're talking about active market participation. I think we have seen it all. Now, I get it. We've never seen it all. We never will, but we have seen so much. And this is what amazes people, that when the market turns against us, we somehow remain so calm. I get this asked all the time. How come you're so calm? And I say to them, well, because I've seen this before. I've got a pretty good idea as to where things are going to go here. So where do you think it's going to go? I'll pull up my indicators. I'll pull up, the whole psychology of it all. Markets, when they go, for example, when the market goes down against you. Well, when it goes down, that's something that hates you. But don't worry about it. You have time. You should have time. Remember, I keep advocating, make sure you buy time. Time is your insurance, right? If you have time, you'll be fine. That's one of our sayings. Um, it's like a little 3-year-old has a temper tantrum, right? As annoying as that 3-year-old is, you don't kill it as much as you would like to, right? You let the kid go through his temper tantrum. That's the only way the kid can communicate. Can't seem to, express himself any other way. And you go through that and just let it go through that, expel its energy. That's what the market is doing when it's going down. It's in a bad mood. Let it go through its bad mood. You know for a fact when it hits a certain level, the buyers are going to come back in. They say, well, wait a second here. This is a pretty good price. I think I'm going to buy some shares now. And they start buying shares, right? That hits that support level. And then it attracts more buyers. Oh, wait a second. Somebody's buying, I better buy some too. Money begets money. So more people start buying. More buying comes in, the market starts going back up, right? That bear market seems to be over. 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we had a massive drop, 24 points. We had some people sitting in calls, myself included. We were in the trading room, so, oh my gosh, things are tanking. What are you gonna do? Well, you're gonna sell. People were already down a lot, especially the ones with the ones with the 0-day expiration, they lost. We told them that it's okay. If you got a 0-day expiration, take what the market will give you now. Like if you lost 90%, just take the 10. That's what you're gonna have left. But if you have a week out, which most people I think in the trading room did, myself included, I said just hold on. Hold on to your hats. We're going in for a really bad roller coaster ride here, but we should be fine, or maybe not so bad as it could be. So just hold on. You know what happened? By Monday and Tuesday, it started coming back up. I think by Wednesday, we were pretty well up to where we were on the stock, not the options. The options were still down quite a bit. I think I took a loss of about probably 20% or something. I'm just throwing a number out there, something like that. It wasn't good, okay, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. And it wasn't as bad as it was for some people, those people that took a massive hit. That's what we call a black swan event. They're going to happen every now and then. You're going to get this massive black swan event. I did a newsletter on that a couple weeks ago. Go back and read on it. These things happen from time to time, right? So you never know what's going to happen. That's why we got to use money management techniques and all that stuff. Anyway, I want to move on here. All right. Okay, Scott, thank you for that. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent signaled on Sunday today that the U.S. and China will significantly de-escalate their trade war under a framework he negotiated. Good news there. Okay, futures seem to be going up here. John said S&P's up 47, Dow Jones 282, Nasdaq 225, Nasdaq's going up. Okay. Okay, so another comment here from Scott. The additional 100% tariff that President Donald Trump threatened earlier this month is effectively off the table, along with China's rare earth restrictions. These are unconfirmed news reports that some of the people here on this system are talking about. So that's really good news here. All right, so all good news for the markets right now. The Fed's big tech earnings coming up. If you're sitting in puts, I probably want to get out of them tomorrow as soon as I can. So, uh, okay, so here's a question here. If I buy 10 contracts at one time, is the cost X amount? If I buy 10 options that are filled at 3 separate times, is the cost 3 times X? Okay, so if you have an order in for say 10 contracts, all right, so you might get let's say it costs you $1 a contract, and you're filled with three, three, and four, right? So as each leg gets filled, that's what your commission is going to be. But if you have a base minimum, let's say $5 a trade plus $1 contract or whatever, that $5 will apply to the entire 10. So you're not going to get hit $5 each time with each leg. Okay, the legs come together as one trade. So that should be that. So, all right, what else is going on here? That's any other questions? Why do you guys bother teaching? If I look at that question, there's another question I get all the time. Why do you guys bother teaching if you can just make money trading? If you're any good, then you should just make money trading, no? The question to that, yes, we make our money trading. In fact, we make a lot of money trading. We do very well with that. But we also love teaching other people. We love it when other people write back and we've changed lives. There's no monetary figure you can put on that feeling that you've changed people's lives, and that's why John and I continue to do this. So we're very excited about it, and it's for lack of a better term, it's kind of like a social life too, right? You get to, this is our social, this is our getaway, this is our Sunday night meeting, this is our social life on a Sunday night. And I know a lot of people like to get together and sit around at you know, um, somebody's house on a Sunday night, maybe, whatever, but we like to get together with our group online, people around the world. Anyway, all right, let me see what else is going on here. How do you look up the futures? I can see it on Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim. I don't have the program pulled up here, Bish. It's all the programs will have it on Thinkorswim in the symbols field. If you write it instead of SPY, do a /SP. No, sorry, /ES. /ES is the S&P 500 futures. That will give you the futures. /NQ, I believe, is NASDAQ, and /YM is the Dow. All right. /CL, I believe, is oil, and slash what? GD or GLD or something. GD, I think, is gold. Not really sure about that, but So you get the futures like that. All the good programs should have access to futures, what they're doing. Now, bear in mind, futures can change in a heartbeat. They might all be up right now, and they could be down in the negatives tomorrow morning. So I've seen that a million times as well. All right, what else can we talk about here? Okay, I know what. I believe, yeah, here's a 2-minute tutorial. Do I have a 2-minute tutorial? You know what? I don't think I actually wrote the fact that this is a 2-minute tutorial, but I'm going to give you a 2-minute tutorial right now. Okay, this is a very easy way. You know, I can't believe that I don't have that. Hang on a second. Okay, I had a page that said 2-minute tutorial. Excuse me. An easy way to make sorry, an easy way to make 5-6%. I like to make 6%. Take a look at this chart. The one on the right is a 5-minute chart. Notice it's going up right out of the gate. It's going up, right? It's been going up actually since, pre-market, right? It's been pushing to the upside. This is a 1-minute chart here on the left. SPY. These are all both SPYs. Look at this line here. I established this resistance line right here. Going back to pre-market, just over 766.60, probably about 766.62, 63. As this 1-minute candle pushed up through that resistance and it closed outside that resistance, that is your cue to jump in on calls. This baby's going up. Look at that. And not only did it go up, it went up pretty good. Next few minutes it went up. Solid gold, right? Take a look and see where did it go. All right, where did it go? Okay, why am I not getting? Hang on a second. Okay, let's see what the potential numbers are. Here's the potential numbers right here. I gotta refine this PowerPoint. Bear with me. So here's what happened. Now this is an option. This is a chart on the option itself. Right after that 1-minute candle closed, I told you to get in. You would have got it right there at 9:30, 9:35. 9:35. You'd have got it if you got it at the high, 9:35. Those options would have been about $1. Well, anywhere in there, they went from about $1.30, $1.40, whatever, up to $1.83 in the next few minutes. They actually hit $1.92 by 11:31. So I would say that's a pretty good day. That works out to a possible 40% gain in 40 minutes, much higher had you held on. The potential $1.92 less $1.31, 61 cents divided by $1.31. Potential of 46, 47%. Look at, we're not trying to get 40%, not even trying to get 30%. Can't you get 6%? If you're looking for 6%, you would have had it instantly. I don't even think you could have got only a 6% because by the time you would hit the sell button, you'd have probably made more than 6%, right? Because the thing started just going up. When you see this pattern unfold, jump in. The decision's already made. And this happens usually early on in the market, right? Market open. Whatever's moving the market, just get in, make your money, get your 5, 6, 7, 8%, whatever it is. Get your money, get in, get out. Oftentimes you're done for the day. And by the way, you can trade easily hundreds of contracts on these moves. All right. That's actually the 2-minute tutorial. All right, let's have our contest now. You see the time is 10:10. This here is a contest that we do. This here is our random number generator. What I want you to do is in the questions box, I want you to put a number in from 1 to 100. 1 to 100. I'm going to give you a minute to do that. And then I'm going to pull up the number, a random number generator. And in fact, I'm going to pull it up right now. This is not the number, folks. This is number from before. This is not, I'm going to pull it right out of there. I'm going to wait. I'm going to give you another, I don't know, 45 seconds or so to pull in a number. The person closest to the number is going to receive an ebook and Triumphs and Tragedies, excuse me, or Tips, Tricks, and Traps. Probably Triumphs and Tragedies. That's a pretty good one. Tips, tricks, and traps can give you that too. If I already know that you have Triumphs and Tragedies, I'll give you tips, tricks, and traps. If you specifically want a particular ebook, let me know that in the questions box as well. So put up in the questions box another 10 seconds or so, and we are going to go see who is going to be the winner. Now, if you are both tied, say within 2 cents or whatever, you'll both get the ebook. Okay. All right, that's very exciting. So it's just a very, anybody can win. It's not a skill testing question, nothing like that. And very easy. All right, let's pull up the number generator. Let's hit the number, folks. I think if I go here and I think if I hit this button here, the number is 28. The number is 28. Okay. I'm just going to write down some numbers here. John H is at 24. Right, 28. Alex AC is 33. Right, 20 is 4. 28. Oh, sorry, Alex, you're 5 off. So far, John H is at 4. Within 4. 28. Oh, Max, we got ourselves a minute. Max. Okay, he got it at 28. Okay, any other 28s? No other 28s. Ken got 38. No other 28s. No other 28s. Okay, congratulations to Max. Max M. You hit 28. You are on the way. You're going to be getting your ebook shortly. Thank you very much, and congratulations on that. Oh, I love it. That's always a fun game, isn't it? Don't we have fun? Who says this is a boring webinar? All right, congratulations. Okay. Folks, I'm done. It's been fun, but we're out of here. We'll see you hopefully in the trading room tomorrow. Yeah, and hope Sunday, of course. So take care. It's been a pleasure, folks.
And there ain't no stopping now. You're the one. Shine brighter than the moon and the sun. Be great at what you do. Give it all of you. And trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what I'm seeing. You can have it if you dream it. Just be brave.